We told you we had a lot of interviews ready for you today. We begin with our first of the day here now. We welcome Dr. Ali Mehrizi-Sani from Virginia Tech University, not just Virginia Tech University, but the director of the Power and Energy Center at Virginia Tech. And Dr. Mehrizi-Sani joins us to talk about really a very specific topic. But first, we'll start by saying hello, Dr. Mehrizi-Sani. We really appreciate you being here. I'm Connor. It's nice to meet you over our live platform. And thanks for taking a little time with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And, very specifically, we're going to be talking about repurposing electric vehicle batteries for other uses, and in particular, powering data centers. Now, data centers is a topic that here in Virginia has been very much in the headlines, heavily scrutinized, heavily spoken about. It's something that's relatively new, which always draws a lot of headlines, but as we know, also requires an immense amount of power in order to function. Could we start here? Could we start by just why is it that data centers require so much power to where it's become such a critical talking point of their construction and where they'll be placed and whether they can be built in certain areas?
That's a great question, Connor. You can think of data centers as essentially huge halls of computers, as you need more processing power that really translates into requiring more power. So the reason that data centers have a lot of demand, a lot of need for power really comes because they're huge warehouses of processing power, processing data, storing data, and so on. So it really comes from the sheer size of those data centers.
Is there anything that it's comparable to? Is there anything that came before it that you could compare a data center to in terms of the amount of power required for it to work properly?
In terms of amount of power, yes. There's something different about data centers that I'm going to talk about in a second. But we have had transitions in the power system that we suddenly needed had loads in power system that really increased the demand we had. Think of air conditioning. Maybe 50 years ago, 60 years ago, we didn't really have all these air conditioning load on the power system, and now we suddenly almost every home in the United States does have it. So that, of course, increased the demand on our power system. Think of electric vehicles, for example, and not even passenger vehicles, but even when you think about heavy duty fleet electrification, that's also going to need a lot of power. Another good example is manufacturing. There's a lot of talks about manufacturing, reshoring, bringing more manufacturing back to the United States. And of course, that's also going to increase the power demand on our power system. Now, what's different about data centers is the speed at which they're introduced to the power system and the speed at which they are being developed. So that's different. But having large power consumers in power system is something that we have had to deal with before over longer periods, a bit of different scale. But otherwise, we have had similar problems, similar challenges, and I say challenge with a positive note because I mean that's what we as researchers, as an engineers do.
And so as that strain on the power system continues to grow and data centers introduce new elements, we get this story about electric vehicle batteries potentially being repurposed for a number of things, even some that you mentioned already, manufacturing, reshoring, but also, of course, data centers. Why does an electric vehicle battery fit really well into this space of need?
One main reason is there a technology we already have, and we can actually give them more useful lifetime after those batteries are not good enough, fit enough for electric vehicle applications. So their charge cycles might be different. Essentially, or even the weight question are going to be different, but they may still be good for stationary applications like what we need to do for data centers. So the best thing about them is it's what you already have, the technology we already possess. So it just makes sense to use them where we can.
And I wonder if we can go back very quickly to mobile versus stationary. And I certainly would have
Mhm.
thought that if a electric vehicle battery had passed its use for the electric vehicle, that would mean that it's well past its use for something like a data center. But because of the stationary nature, it's still effective. Are you able to give a little more insight into the difference between those two things
Sure.
and why? Yeah.
Thank you, Gaurav. That's a very good question. Uh, so when we talk about applications for electric vehicles, you have uh, eh, far fewer set of batteries than what you would have in a data center. So maybe one set of batteries would not be sufficient, would not be good enough for the mobile for the electric vehicle application. But then when you group maybe hundreds or even thousands of those batteries, uh, there may be a bit of malfunction or a bit of reduction in the performance of one battery can be compensated by other batteries, and that's the main difference when we are talking about different applications, mobile versus stationary. You have a bigger group of batteries that can essentially help each other, and overall give you the performance that you would need.
But really, just like people, batteries work better as a team, it sounds like. The more you have, the better chance you have for effectiveness. Now, in repurposing those batteries for different use cases, is it just a one to one transfer, or are there technical changes that need to be made to the battery itself?
In terms of control, of course, there's going to be changes that you have to make. Each battery comes with essentially power electronic interfaces that control those. Also, they control their charge cycles. So, of course, they have to be changes that need to be made to those battery controllers. But the main technology, which is the energy storage capability that the batteries provide, that can be used regardless, and that's also kind of the one of the most expensive part of the batteries, and that's why kind of makes this technology quite exciting for this application.
Hey, we talk about exciting technology. I wonder as you look at electric vehicles is a relatively new and innovative industry. Data centers and artificial intelligence are even newer and more innovative technologies. And now you see these two industries sort of combining to provide use to each other. What kind of new frontier are we entering into here where you have electric vehicle industry helping the AI industry, and maybe the AI industry providing a recycling opportunity for the electric vehicle industry? I mean, does this speak to the synergy that we're going to see in the future more and more between these emerging industries?
Absolutely. And you can even think about the synergy that data centers have with the power grid itself. We just talk about the increased power demand that data centers have, and that of course means we need to build more power system, more infrastructure. But at the same time, the let's say AI, artificial intelligence that data centers enable, that can actually be used to make power system even more efficient. So there have been this kind of mutual play, beneficial kind of application between new technologies, data centers as on one side, power grid on the other side, the EVs on the other side. We talk about advanced manufacturing reshoring. That's also another way that many of these new technologies can really play together, and be integrated with each other.
Yeah, it really is all coming together in so many ways. And as you said, sort of feeding back into each other. I'm wondering as we move forward with all these new types of battery systems, lead acid batteries, are those close to becoming a thing of the past in total?
For a lot of newer applications, I would say so, especially that now we have technologies like lithium ion that are going to be much better in quite a few applications. In fact, if you look back, maybe even 5, 10 years ago, the lithium ion batteries that we had have come a really long way. The reason that we have this more way powerful cell phones, much better laptops, these are all because of the developments that we have had in lithium ion, the types of batteries. And we see that, I mean, we have now a new technology. Is not perfect, but it's much better than the previous generations of what we had.
Really, this whole thing, building on previous generations and creating improvements, and then those improvements lead to new technologies. It all, I love how it all comes together the way you present it.
Mhm.
I'm wondering, is there anything else that we need to know? Is there anything we're missing that you think is important about this topic?
I think we covered quite a bit. I would say maybe I will reiterate the point that I made earlier about data centers being maybe the first highly visible large load on the power grid. As you said earlier, there have been a lot of discussions about data centers. I would add that we are going to be having similar discussions when we talk about larger scale electrifications of essentially everything. When we look at fleet electrification, when we look at smart manufacturing, those are all going to be adding to the loads that we have on power systems. So it's really important that we continue to make investments in our infrastructure.
As those infrastructure investments grow, is this something that you see, when you say that, it's obviously it's exciting in one sense because it does provide that advancement, but then it comes with a certain degree of concern as well. Do you see
Mhm.
this as something that is a natural fact of growth that we will figure out, or is this something that is a real problem that requires focus from lawmakers and leaders and other places like that?
It does need focus from the policy side, from the engineering side, from the research side, from, of course, making sure we have the talent to be able to run the systems. So it's really a multifaceted problem. I'm confident we can solve it because as a nation we have solved many other problems like this before. And again, I like to use the word challenge with a positive meaning. But it's not something that's going to solve itself. It's something that we need to continue to invest, we need to continue to think about and strategize about.
Oh, the work that you and your colleagues do at Virginia Tech is certainly a big part of that problem solving. So we appreciate you,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Ali Mehrizi-Sani, taking a little bit of time to talk to us here on Live Impact News. And as these innovations continue to grow, hopefully we can catch up with you down the line.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming. We appreciate it. And a special opportunity for us here on Live Impact News, guys, to get to talk to someone who is, again, on the cutting edge of the growth in these industries. And with that growth comes all of these components that you must attend to, including how to power data centers, how to power the forces that make artificial intelligence possible. And beyond that, the mention of reshoring manufacturing and all the other industries where this could become something that is worth looking into or worth using or needs to continue to grow. Large scale electrification of everything is creating the need for more and more power, and it's something that requires a lot of attention. Dr. Ali Mehrizi-Sani, certainly one of those people giving it the attention that it deserves and able to teach us a little something today, give us some more insight into a topic that is, of course, again, reported on quite heavily here in the Commonwealth as it has become a place where data center construction is top of mind and happening relatively frequently.